Today on XDA Developer TV, we pit Facebook for Android, iOS, and Windows Phone 8 against each other in a three-way app shootout. So here we go. We have all three phones here that we're going to go ahead and open up Facebook on. I have the Samsung Ativ S, the iPhone 4S, and the Samsung Galaxy S2. And here we go. Let's go ahead and refresh all the pages here just to make sure we're currently up to date. And as you can see, the information displayed on each device is already different. iOS and Android are pretty close, if not exactly the same information. However, on Windows Phone, the app doesn't show anywhere near the same amount of information that you get on iOS or Android. Let's match up all three with the same information and scroll down a little bit and see what happens. As you can see here, there's a few posts here that I am not seeing at all on Windows Phone. It's actually, I found it easier when I was using Windows Phone to just go use the Facebook webpage, touch.facebook.com or m.facebook.com, either I believe work. Actually, let's go ahead and load up the settings on each of the devices here. One neat feature here on Windows Phone 8 is the enable shake to refresh. I'll do a quick demo of this here for you now. See, you just shake it. And you can see up top there, just refresh the page again. When you do refresh, it doesn't bring it to the top. You do have to manually scroll again. But here we go. We'll go ahead and get back into settings. This gives you general, notifications, all those different things. Here you go. Pretty basic settings menu. Does the job. Let's go ahead and bring up the settings on Android here. It's pretty well the same settings list. Looks a little different with the icons and stuff, but it's pretty much the same list. Both the apps are really close to being identical between iOS and Android, so there really isn't much of a shootout there between those two. But the biggest change is the Windows Phone 8 version of Facebook. It is just so much further behind than the current Android and iOS iterations of the app. Show you some more scrolling here and data, and you've got identical pages on both. Identical sets of information anyway. Picture size is a little different, but that's just because of the size of the screens. So that's to be expected. But as you can see, there's a lot of information missing from the Windows Phone 8 version of the application, so that's a huge downfall. One really neat feature of it is the backgrounds. You can see they're up top. It'll actually take pictures and set it as the background. That is an option. You can turn that off and then it just shows blue instead of that picture there. So now we'll go ahead and open up the people page for your friend requests and people you may know and stuff like that. Show you the difference. Kind of just pops up on iOS. It's the full screen on Android, but it doesn't really show much information again on Windows Phone 8. So let's go ahead and get into the messaging tab, and they look pretty well the same right across the board. You see a little more information on Windows Phone, but that could just be the size of the screen where it's a 720p display. Let's go ahead and look at the links. Pretty well showing the same information on all three devices, so they pretty well nail it for those, but it really comes down to the information you get to see while using Facebook regularly. So as you can see, Facebook for Android and iOS are pretty near identical, with a few little just UI differences, very slight. But then when you get into the Windows Phone 8 version of the application, it is just very subpar. Using Internet Explorer and going to the mobile Facebook website is a much better option. The only downfall in that is it refreshes you back to the beginning of the page if you click on any links or look at any pictures or anything like that. It's not quite as slick as using the app on Android or iOS, but it is your closest option. The app in Windows Phone 8 is actually made by Microsoft and not Facebook themselves. That's probably why this is going on. I don't know why Facebook hasn't made the app themselves. I guess we'll have to wait and see if they do come out with another app. If you want to see more of me on YouTube, you can check me out at youtube.com/ELECTROZ or youtube.com/angrybeards. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and check out all the other videos here on XDA TV, and we'll see you again next week.